So, YouTube. It's been a while. Some of you are probably wondering where I've been. Most of you probably don't care. But I'm going to tell you anyway.
Pickle jar! Pickle jar! Miniatures! Excellent!
So, back in January this year, I started a new role at school, at my job. And I'm now teaching full time. And while I am loving that, and I am absolutely loving it, it has meant that I am left mentally drained in an evening and I don't have the energy to come home and sit down and think about filming and planning videos and all that sort of stuff. If I'm being completely honest, I have painted very few miniatures this year. Literally the one that I've painted during this video, which we'll get to in a little while, a couple of the Monster Hunter miniatures and a couple of D&D figures for me and a couple of friends. That's been it. On top of this, over the last few months, I've been taking a little bit of time for myself, if that doesn't sound too pretentious. I've been making sure that I'm doing stuff that I am enjoying so that the free time that I have, I'm not just sort of sat being a drained zombie, and I am actually doing stuff that I like. So I've been reading a lot more, I've been playing video games, I've been getting back into playing board games fairly often. And I've also started going to the gym for the last few months in a bid to try and get myself back into shape and lose some of the weight that I had put back on over the last few years. All of that combined means that something had to give. I think as Elston has said before, that you only have so much time and you have to split that up between personal life, YouTube, work, and something has to give at some point. And unfortunately for me, YouTube is the thing that I've sort of set to one side. Honestly speaking, YouTube was always just meant to be a bit of a hobby for me. While I was taking a break from doing theatre, I gave it a go, thought, well, I'll do this. This'll fill in the time that I would normally be at rehearsals. And it kind of took off a little bit more than I expected it to, which then meant that I never went back to theatre until now. And then I carried on doing YouTube, but it is just supposed to be a hobby for me. Having said that, this is not a farewell video. This is not a I'm never doing YouTube again video, because quite clearly I am, because video. But my hobby mojo has been a little bit sapped this year so far. However, after a trip to the UK Games Expo and meeting up with a few people and chatting with people again, it sort of got my juices flowing, so to speak, a little bit, and I wanted to work on something new. I wanted a new hobby project that I could work on a little bit at the beginning of this year and then work on over the summer while I'm off work. So I was looking around my sort of bits and pieces. I've got a massive amount of miniatures that I could work on, and I came across these. These are the Skaven that I got, I think it was last year or the year before, for my birthday. The intention being that I was going to paint up this little army. A friend of mine was going to paint up a new AOS army for him as well, and then we were going to go to Warhammer World and have a few games. Since then, I have built all of mine, as you can see, but not painted any. My friend has built and painted, I think, 2 or 3 AOS armies since then. So I did what every sane hobbyist would do, and I completely pushed all of these to one side and decided to work on the new shiny box of Skaven instead, all the while hoping that my pile of shame will not one day fall and crush me. So this is the new AOS box. It has at this point been out for a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. This video was originally intended to come out for the pre-orders going live, but life got in the way. And I have to say that it is an absolutely fantastic box. I'm always a big fan of the sort of starter boxes or the launch boxes that Games Workshop does. I do think they do a nice job of sort of setting up the edition and showcasing what it's about. Obviously it's got some Stormcast in it, it's got some Skaven in it, and it's got a bunch of other stuff that I'm sure lots of people are going to be interested in, but today I just want to focus on the Skaven. I've said before that I've never really been the biggest fan of Stormcast. I find them a bit boring, or found them a bit boring, although I have to say over the last year or so, some of the new sculpts and the sort of vaguely new direction that they're taking it in, and new paint schemes and things like that have made them a little bit more interesting to me, and I probably will work on them at some point as a secondary or third army. But for today, it's definitely the Skaven that I want to work on. The Skaven have been my favourite AOS Old World army for a long time. I played all of the Skaventide games, both of the Skaventide games quite a lot. And my favourite team to play in Blood Bowl is my Skaven team, the Suicide Squad. So there was absolutely no doubt in my mind as to which half of this box I'd be working on first. So over the course of a weekend, I sat down at various points and worked my way through building up all of the Skaven half of this box. And I have to say, it's been fun to get on with a bigger project like this. Recently, I've been working on sort of smaller projects, sort of like one-off miniatures. Like I said, some of the Monster Hunter models for the Monster Hunter World board game, they're just one-off big projects and they're all completely different. Before that, I did a couple of D&D miniatures, which again, were just individual things. So it's nice to get a big project where it's all sort of tied together. It was also nice to work on some Games Workshop stuff again for the first time in quite a while. It has reminded me why Games Workshop are in the position that they are in the market. Say what you want about business practices or whatever, the miniatures themselves, I personally think are really, really good. I like the way that they go together. They hide all the mold lines, they hide all the joins when they're done well, like these ones are. Very few mold lines to get rid of. And as someone that doesn't really like building, I actually had quite a lot of fun putting these together. Just chucked a couple of episodes on something on Netflix on my phone and just sat down and got through these. Whilst I was building these, I was thinking of what to do for the video. As I said, it was originally intended to be out for sort of launch weekend or the week before launch weekend, whenever the NDA date was set for. Obviously, it didn't come out because here it is now. And I was sat thinking what I can do for the video, and the usual thoughts went through my mind of, oh, I need to do one of those, I painted every model in the box in 3 hours, find out how with this hack. Or like, I've painted 50 models in a minute, find out how. Or don't waste hours painting miniatures when you can do it in 30 seconds. And honestly, I just can't be arsed. Don't get me wrong, I've definitely done things like that in the past. Hopefully not quite as clickbaity as some people, but I've definitely gone down that route before, and every time I have done, I have hated it. It's not why I went into doing YouTube. I started doing YouTube, as I said, as a hobby, as a pastime, to have something to do. I like editing videos and I like painting miniatures, and it was a nice, easy fix for both. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about in this video. That's what I ended up deciding on. So I'm going to show you the painting footage, as you can probably see on screen now. But I think it's fairly self-explanatory what I'm doing. I'll put a list of all the paints down below in the description if you want to use them as a reference point or jumping off point for painting your own miniatures. But talking wise, I don't feel it needs much explanation. So I want to talk about the channel going forward and my thoughts on YouTube in general. So, as I said, YouTube for me is always meant to be just a hobby. It was supposed to be something I did in my spare time to fill in all the time where I wasn't going to be spent at rehearsals for doing the musical theatre stuff that I used to do. And it kind of exploded a little bit, took off a little bit, and if I'm honest, it kind of took over my life for a good few years there. And I'm not complaining about that at all. I feel very lucky and very privileged to have been able to do a lot of the things that I've done. Events that I've been invited to, events that I've gone to, people I've spoken to, all the people that I've met at various conventions and meetings, and all the different companies that I've got to work with over the last few years. I do feel very, very privileged because there are a lot of people that do this, and I would say a good chunk of them do not get to do the stuff that I've got to do. So I do feel very, very lucky to have been able to do that, and I'm glad that I have done. But the other side of that is that I have met a lot of other people that do this either semi-full-time like I was, or do it actually full-time, and seeing how it has affected them, as well as how I was being affected while I was doing it sort of part-time, seeing how it's affected them going full-time, the stresses that it puts on them and all that sort of stuff, has over the years just sort of made me realise that maybe I don't actually want to do this full time. Obviously I worked with Luke, so that was very up close and personal with seeing how he thought about YouTube videos and how he was stressing constantly, and how that then applied to me as well. And seeing that up close and personal, as well as, like I said, a load of other content creators, and they might not always come out and say that they're stressed or that they're worried or blah, blah, blah. But being a fairly good read of character, you can sort of tell when it's not the easiest thing to do. Everyone sits and thinks, oh yeah, YouTube, I want to be a YouTuber, it's great. You just sit at home and make videos. And to a certain extent, yes, but the downside is that you're never off. You are constantly working, you're constantly thinking about videos. Over the last few years, I've definitely missed out on social events. I've missed out on spending time with family. I've missed out on a lot of things because I was too focused on, well, I need to get this video done. I need to do this for the algorithm. I need to do this, I need to do that. And I just don't want to anymore. So this is not like a farewell thing. This is not a, I'm done with YouTube, because I'm still going to carry on posting videos. It's very much just going to be more what I'm doing now, where I'm posting every now and then, when I get a chance, when I have time to do it, and when I've got something that I feel like I want to make a video on, rather than just having to rush to get all the new releases out or rush to follow a trend that everyone is doing or anything like that. I'd rather just make videos on stuff that I want to do, which is one of the reasons why I've been working on the Monster Hunter stuff a lot recently. That is a board game that I'm playing with a group of friends on a regular basis. The miniatures are really, really nice. I said miniatures. The big monster miniatures are really, really nice. And I've been having a lot of fun working my way through them, chucking together some nice, simple tutorials for people to follow if they want to. And I've just been enjoying it. I've got a load of other stuff from Steamforge as well, some of the Epic Encounters stuff and some of the local legends stuff that I want to get working on. I've got some absolutely really, really cool miniatures from a new board game that's coming out, a Terraria board game. They were kind enough to send me out some 3D prints of some of the miniatures for that, which I'm wanting to get painted up for some content in the near future. But then other than that, it will just be as and when something sparks my interest and I want to work on it, I will do a video on it maybe. Sometimes that's going to be warhammer stuff, sometimes it's just going to be other stuff that I just want to work on. I've got a load of busts and other miniatures that are just random one-off things that I've previously decided not to do videos on because they wouldn't perform well. Whereas now I might just want to paint them and just go, look at this cool thing that I've painted, and just show people and just enjoy that for being what it is. I'll still carry on working with some of the companies that I have been working with as long as they want to carry on working with me, such as Steamforge, Games Workshop, Two Thin Coats, the paint range, which is pretty much exclusively what I use now. Hashtag not sorry for shilling, but they are fantastic paints and I absolutely love them. Sitting down to paint this Skaven and to do a proper video as well, like a proper one where I actually think about stuff and do different shots and things and it's not just a top-down tutorial, did remind me of why I like doing this. It did remind me that I like making videos, I like putting content together, and it also reminded me that I do like painting miniatures. As I said, I've not really painted much this year, so it was nice to sort of get back into a bit of a feel for it. I would like to say that since I filmed painting this miniature almost a month ago, or just over a month ago, I had finished the rest of that Skaven army, but I have not. I am off for the summer now from school, and I feel like I probably will get some painting done. Probably not as much as I think I'm going to get done, but I will get some done. So stay posted on like Instagram and stuff like that for updates on those. I have got some more videos planned for the near future. As I said, I've got the Terraria models that I want to get done. I've got some more stuff from Steamforged. I've got more Monster Hunter stuff that's ready to edit. I've got some busts that I want to get painted and more just to sort of flex my own painting ability and just improve that a little bit and then maybe showcase it along the way. Final thing that I want to say is that I am just really, really pleased, honoured, happy, just how much support I've had over the years and how much support I still continue to get. The Discord server is absolutely thriving despite me only popping in every now and then when I have time. All the people that have come and spoke to me, that have come to events to meet me, that have taken the time to message me, still getting stopped and talked to about the channel even now, even this year after I've barely posted anything. Literally like 2 days ago I got stopped in the gym by someone saying, oh yeah, I'll watch your channel, and stuff like that. It does make me smile, and not because it's like, oh, people recognize me, but when people say things like, I really like the channel, it's nice that it's so down to earth, because that's exactly what I wanted it to be. I am just a normal guy that paints miniatures. Sometimes I film it and I put it on the internet, and that is it. There's no secrets, there's no magic tricks, there's no false personality, there's no like unattainable painting techniques. That's what I wanted the channel to be, was just the average miniature painter so that it was relatable for more people. So it makes me smile a lot when people come and say how much they enjoy the channel for that reason. Anyway, I've rambled on for far too long. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know it's been a bit of a weird one, and it's been a while since I've done a proper video. I do promise I will do some more over the summer while I've got time. And I will try and get stuff out fairly, not regular, but not months and months between videos. It just depends on what else is going on in my life at the minute. I had a lot of fun painting this Skaven. I do want to get the rest of my Skaven painted up, both the Skaventide box and the stuff that I have had for the last year or two, so I can actually get some games in. AOS looks pretty fun, the new edition, and I definitely want to try Spearhead out. I've seen a few people posting about that and playing that, and it looks like a lot of fun. Apologies that this video didn't get put out for pre-orders, but I was busy. Hope you enjoyed it now. Thanks for staying till the end if you have. Leave a like and a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the miniature, what you think about the Skaventide box. And until next time, enjoy your hobby. I'll see you later.